Hello, church. Today's devotional is called Follow Me. There's a lot of follow me's in the Bible, and the point of this devotional is to talk about why it's so difficult for us to uh, perhaps follow Jesus, or when we evangelize, we're sort of saying that to the people we're evangelizing to. Now, I'm not telling them, follow me. I'm just Joe. I'm not the Son of God. I'm not divine. But when I look at them and I talk to them and they ask me questions and they understand that my purpose is to evangelize to them and talk to them about come follow God like I do, they're gonna take a hard look at me if they're at all interested. Many people, of course, are not interested. I'm going to move this a little bit and try and get rid of that bright sun there, bright light. Okay, let's try that. So let's look at a few of these quotes. Matthew 16:24 says, Then Jesus told his disciples, if anyone would come after me, excuse me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Matthew 9:9 says, as Jesus passed on from there, he saw a man called Matthew sitting at the tax booth, and he said to him, follow me. And he rose and followed him. Well, let's stop there for a second. So Matthew was sinning. The tax collectors back then were notorious. They had a reputation probably worse than our tax collectors today, in that they always charged more than what people actually owed. They made money by people paying their taxes. They either get a percentage of that or they claim that they owe more than they do. I guess it would depend on the tax collector, but basically they were predators, much like a predatory loan, things like that. Someone will give you, come on, Joe, gauge your brain. Someone will give you a credit card if you have poor credit, but they'll charge you a ridiculous percentage of interest, for example. That's usury. And so people generally really despise tax collectors. So here Jesus walks up to this guy. Now, Matthew knew who he was by reputation. He'd probably seen him around a bit here and there. And all Jesus had to do was say, follow me. And he did. He left his business, his lucrative business. He was a rich man. And he walked out. He just walked out and followed him. Now, today, if I walked up to someone and I said, come follow me as I'm following Jesus. Let's follow Jesus together. And you said, okay. And just like that, without giving me an argument or anything, I think the person was crazy. But of course, I don't have the reputation of Jesus. I don't have the public notoriety that Jesus had from his miracles and his preaching and everything like that. So the odds of that happening with just Joe, of course, are ridiculously low from that point of view. But we always have to keep in mind that evangelism is about relationship. You're not going to get an immediate response from someone. People aren't going to just abandon everything and come follow you without vetting you in some sense. So when you start talking about what you believe, they're going to start looking at you and they're going to say to themselves, why do you believe that? Are you acting like you believe it? Are you following the ways of Christ in a consistent manner? Or are you just giving me a snow job? Or, of course, in today's day and age, what's in this for you? Why do you want me to do this? You're just offering me this for no reason, so it can get interesting. He talked to the guy that wanted to wait for his father to die. He was dying a lingering death. In Matthew 8:22, Jesus said to him, "Follow me and leave the dead to bury their own dead." First time I read that, I thought, wow, that's harsh. But in the context of how that was stated and what it was about was, people can die for a long time. And Jesus, he had a time-sensitive mission, and he wanted people to know, hey, I don't have a lot of time to do this. If you want to follow me, now is the time. So make arrangements and come follow me. And of course, the guy wouldn't do it. And there were several people who didn't take him up on his offer, of course. So the point being that in a large sense, you better be walking the walk and talking the talk when you start proselytizing, when you start talking to people about why did God change my life? How did he change my life? What's different about me since I came to Jesus? Has it affected my life? Has it really affected my life? Is it noticeable? People are going to weigh that. Look at Jesus when he was out and about for his 3 years. He was homeless. He probably looked a little dingy. All of those guys did. And they went to the very poor, the destitute, the people who had basically no hope. And those are the people he talked to. So I'm not saying that's all we should do. All I'm trying to say is I think the reason we fear to evangelize is we fear that people are going to compare us to Jesus. And that is a common mistake even Christians make. Okay, I can't possibly measure up to Jesus, neither can you. And that's not what it's about. Jesus shows us the perfect way to be. We are imperfect, and we need to explain that to people right up front. We need to let them know that, look, I'm not perfect, but this changed my life. Jesus changed my life. And let's go get a cup of coffee, and I'd like to tell you how. And that's a good place to start. You start out by being human and not overreaching, not stretching the truth at all, and talking about how exactly Jesus changed your life. I hope this might help you a little bit when you approach someone. Have a good day.